All right, welcome to After Dinner Mints. Nolan here.
Stefan.
Kevin.
And I've never seen Space Ghost.
Man, how? You mean like the ever?
Well, no, like right. I've flicked by it on the channels, but I didn't understand. I've only seen...
It does not surprise me that you've never seen Space Ghost. It doesn't.
I've only ever seen Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
But...
That I've never seen.
Only... as I was falling asleep, and I didn't fucking understand the premise of the show whatsoever.
Neither did I. I just know that Space Ghost was like an egotistical
okay.
maniac.
I'm going to throw it out to you. Venture Brothers?
Fucking Venture Brothers, yes.
Okay. My favorite, Archer.
If you haven't seen Archer, you might be dead in my book.
I'm pretty much on the same boat.
And I feel like I'm looking at Nolan right now.
No, I've watched Archer.
Okay.
Oh, so. Thank God. Woo. All right, put the gun away. Put the gun up.
You see this? Because this is exactly how you get ants.
Pick the plastic up off of the floor. We're good.
Right, have you watched Dexter?
Fucking, of course.
I'm just making sure.
You've seen the whole thing.
Dexter
all the way
was
through.
Garbage. It was good for like a couple episodes. By the end of the first season, it was no longer believable.
So Dexter was one of the greatest shows of all time.
Like
I'm just throwing that out there.
Even a little bit.
All right, cool.
But,
yes.
You ever see Prison Break?
Yeah, I didn't get as much into that one, but I did think the idea of it was kind of cool. But you want to talk about jumping the shark? The guy tattooed his whole body and had the plans to get. That's going a little overboard, don't you think?
I mean, what you want to say?
You could just memorize the plans. I mean, that's just a thought.
At the same time, nobody would have ever known about those tattoos if they didn't explain it. Because
if you're going to commit to that, you can commit to just memorizing the information. And people go to med school, they don't tattoo the information. You don't see a doctor in surgery rolling up his sleeve and saying, "Oh, I have to cut here."
Mirrors.
You know the map. You memorize the map.
But it's if you tattooed it on your back, right? Which is where it was, right?
Well, that was the whole point of him having his brother, right? It was his brother?
Yeah.
He would read off for him, like he had his own Gru inside.
That's another show that I never watched because I saw the commercials and decided it was fucking stupid.
I can't believe
that was it.
Well, are you really surprised knowing his disposition?
Yeah, my disposition, knowing my taste is better,
right?
So much better than the average fucking person.
I feel like
in all seriousness, up until about from about 1997 through 2 years ago, there was literally not a single thing worth fucking watching that was not on HBO. Everything else was fucking garbage. Then FX came up with a few things that were okay, and now Netflix is really sort of carrying the torch with shows like Narcos and House of Cards.
Okay, I don't believe in what you're saying, but I don't have a list at the tip of my tongue of shows that were good and worth it to pull out.
Watch Narcos.
Because that
pretty well, no, I'm not disputing that Netflix isn't the fucking shit. I love Netflix. I mean, have you seen both seasons of Daredevil yet?
I haven't even finished the first one. But
how have you not seen the first? How do you get out?
Yeah, I'm just not as easily impressed by bad entertainment.
Find your way out of that chair and get out.
It's just the way this chair is set up.
It's the most uncomfortable chair.
This chair is not that bad. Maybe it's because I'm young. But it's not as shitty as it.
Yes, it is.
Said it was. No, it's not.
I was sitting in that chair when I was your age, and let me tell you. Wow, I just sound like Donald Trump.
Yeah. Oh,
Holy
You
shit.
were sitting in that chair last week after you spent an hour and a half complaining about it.
I did not sit in that chair.
You did.
No, I did not.
The show ended and you immediately got in that chair and sat in it in the
You must have fallen asleep because, sir, that was your wife that sat in that chair.
She did not.
I didn't. She fell
She
out
sat
of
in
that
the
chair.
Fell, and then we pulled her out, and then you sat in it.
I did not sit in that
there for
chair.
2 hours.
You pulled her
Yeah,
out
you
like
were.
she was just
No.
She fell
I'm
over
not. No. I'm being absolutely dead serious, and this is no big deal. It's like, but I really, in all sincerity, did not sit in that chair. I didn't move from this chair.
Sat in that chair.
You clearly fell asleep
You must
and
have
had
sat
a
in that
narcoleptic
chair.
dream about me sitting in that
The
chair.
next day, we were listening to the show, and Chelsea's like, he sat in that chair for like 2.5 hours after the show ended. You
I
sat in
totally
that
did.
chair
I
for,
sat in this chair
all
right
fucking
here.
night. You did.
Wake her up and get her ass in here because I do not believe you. I was not that drunk. There's no way.
You were, and you were sitting in that chair.
I'm not gonna put it past you.
You weren't here, first off, so you have no.
I had to
basis.
I had to tend to some issues.
I don't give a shit.
Well, I do because
Well,
they're mine.
Don't chime in on an argument you weren't here for.
I'm just gonna
if
stay
you're
in my-
worried about your
sit in my fucking
twisties.
corner. You
I don't know.
absolutely-
I don't know how you could chime in on an argument that didn't happen. It's happening right now. You weren't here to see him in the chair, but he was. As a matter of fact, I think yesterday or the other day.
Show
when
me
we
a
did
picture.
The other episode, I was like, dude, after he bitched about, I even told you that he sat in that chair for the rest of the night when
Yep.
the show was done.
I have no recollection of such an event, and I don't believe it happened.
Chelsea just said, I texted him. He sat in the chair for like 2 hours.
Got him.
Liar!
Thanks, Mom. But what?
I mean, that is what happens when I end up. When I literally, I think I did go home around like 5 a.m. or something, right? Like it was late.
Yeah, it was really late.
Yeah.
What the hell were you guys? You guys were just chilling, talking bullshit.
Yeah,
We should have
probably
actually
could-
recorded two
probably
shows
could've
worth
done
of
another
that
show, but
time.
It would have been so much more offensive than the one that we actually did.
Oh, well,
That would have been
makes-
the problem.
makes a lot more
It's
sense.
probably a good thing that some of that shit didn't make it to tape.
And Chelsea, I thought you and I had each other's back. Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
She didn't necessarily throw you in the bus or under it. She kind of grinded you into it.
Didn't we already say that you have no
That's
right to
crazy.
mention anything about this story right now?
I feel like you're taking shots at me because I'm young and I'm sitting in this chair. And I have no problems.
Really, balls? You have no problems?
No problems.
Well,
that
they're nice and cradled.
Ah,
The
right.
curve of the chair.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
more like one's just sitting on it. The other one's like, nah, I don't want to touch anything.
All right, so all right, I'm looking at the board. I actually am a little intrigued about Nolan's note about school dreams. So I'm gonna pass the mic to you.
yeah.
What's
So, last night I have, and this is like a recurring theme in my dreams. It wasn't the same dream, but it's a recurring theme. I'm fucking in school. I'm in school.
You mean like
Yeah,
fucking
you're
in
not-
school? Or are you?
I
are you,
mean, I'm-
no
you're in the
one
act of
fucking-
coitus in school?
I'm in school.
Okay.
I'm the age I am now, so it doesn't make sense that I'm in school. Some of these dreams are high school. Some
Well-
of these dreams are college. I'm typically really late for class or know that I'm going to miss class, and I'm fucking panicking. And then there's like a series of unfortunate events that keeps
Isn't
me...
that a kids movie?
Lemony fucking.
I don't know. That keeps me from getting to class. Like, for example, last night I was in college and I was trying to get to my class, but for some reason I was in the Trenton Public Library and wound up on a hidden subway to a town a couple towns over that I've exists in the real world, but doesn't this place isn't real. But I got out and then I was at a college, but it was the wrong college, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm gonna miss class because I took a train to the wrong school. And so this is last night, but this is like a recurring theme. I'm constantly having dreams that I'm either in high school or in college and missing class and panicking that I'm going to miss class.
I did that in reality when I went to, I didn't panic though. I just blatantly was too drunk to go.
I did that in reality where I didn't go or forgot to go to like college classes on days that I, woke up and had class on Tuesday but thought it was Wednesday or something like that. Mm-hmm. But apparently this is like a really common thing. So I woke up and I looked it up and I was like, this morning I was like, this happens way too fucking often.
Was there anything you found online that kind of like any common thread?
Work related anxieties.
Well,
So
okay.
But this has been like going on for
years.
Yeah, at least 5 years.
Yeah, but I'm going to say as long as I've known you, you've had work-related anxiety.
This is true.
Well, not even that. You just had weird fucking dreams, period. As long as I've known you.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody really have normal dreams, though?
I mean, I guess you're right.
It's like...
At one point in my life, I just remember just seeing white dreams. Like
White dreams?
Just nothing. Just like a blank canvas.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's really fucking creepy.
Really?
No, but it's.
I mean,
But again,
plain-
all dreams are weird.
Yeah, just plain.
Just nothing. Like you
nothing.
literally have dreams of nothingness?
No, I mean, not now.
Like your brain
it might
turned
be like
off.
one-off.
He's
kinda like that.
essentially describing like a movie from the 80s where like a dream state is when you're walking around in a completely white background with nothing. It's
Yeah,
like
but I
how they
wasn't
used to
walking. It was just
portray
nothing.
it.
It was just-
You were just
Yeah.
looking at nothing. Was there a sound? Was there anything?
Not that I remember. It was just legit, just nothing.
Sounds peaceful, actually.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But now I'm kind of self-conscious about it because you're like, that's fucking creepy. Now I'm thinking about all the creepy things that it probably could be. No clue.
All right, I'm gonna let you two just hash this one out because
I
Yeah.
mean, it's better than having some form of a nightmare, even though I don't consider anything scary in a dream.
Has anyone else had sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
First of all, I've nightmares pretty much on a nightly basis.
The fuck?
seriously,
Yeah, seriously. I pretty much always have nightmares.
what are they?
They're
You're running late to class?
Well, yeah, actually, they're never anything like. Occasionally, they're
Like you're not getting chased by like a
something
knife wielding
something
psycho,
like that
but
kind of thing isn't really pervasive. It's more like super high stress, super high anxiety. Something bad's about to happen, but you don't know what it is. Type of nightmares, like this creepy, just like super ominous vibe of the whole dream, and that's. I don't think I can recall a dream that hasn't been a nightmare. Ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that's fucking creepy.
I have
that
nightmares
sounds like an issue that you need to talk to somebody about.
Constantly. Ever since I was a fucking little kid, I've had nightmares pretty much every night. Then it magnifies because there will be times where I'll start lucid dreaming in the middle of a nightmare and I'll be like, this is a dream. I know this is a dream. I just need to wake up, but I can't fucking wake up. And then when I do wake up, I have sleep paralysis and I can't fucking move. So this is like, yeah.
I'm being dead serious, like really,
I'm being
really
dead
serious.
serious too.
Oh, that's I know you are. So I'm going to say, in all sincerity, I think you really do need to see some specialists. Because,
I need to see a sleep specialist.
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
I mean, you're not just checking like one weird box. You're checking like 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then I have waking dreams.
But that's
Wait,
that's,
what?
You think that's normal? Like,
You mean
No,
like
I
I guess
daydreaming?
because
I don't think
Everybody
that's normal.
daydreams.
No. I mean waking dream.
I don't know
Like
what that
when
is.
I get into a narcoleptic state,
Right.
I will start having a waking dream. Like my eyes will be open. I guess I'll like mentally fall asleep, but not physically fall asleep, and I will start dreaming. Dude, it was fucking recorded on the last show.
That sounds surreal.
I will start,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
what that is. I'm having a dream.
Oh no! I heard. I heard.
I
it.
will
Yeah.
start.
he was looking right at me, and
Yeah.
it was just like a switch.
But that's
Wow.
what that is. I will have a like totally nonsensical dream while I'm physically awake but mentally asleep. So I'll just have this total nonsense dream,
so-
and I'll talk to the people in the room because I sleep talk anyway. If I'm like legitimately asleep, I'll sleep talk, and I'll do the same thing.
Right. Well, we've experienced the sleep talk part before, right? And that, which is extremely and wildly entertaining. And thank God your wife put that shit on Twitter. But have you started keeping some sort of like a journal of the nightmares?
No, this has happened since I was like 4 years old.
Right. No, but I'm saying if you start to, I guarantee you see a specialist, they're going to ask you to start keeping a journal, saying, all right, start writing down some things that you remember about.
Probably, but I feel like I'd rather suffer with it than put in that kind of effort.
Really?
Which
I
is
don't want to wake up first thing in the morning
guess you
and
might be
write.
used
well,
to it now.
then that automatically means that you're not going to put
spend.
in the effort to go see somebody then either.
Probably.
Okay. Well, then I have no.
I wanted to
have
dispute
nothing.
that. No, I really should because it's super fucked up. But I
that's.
I just don't have the time
like
or
with
energy
heavy-hearted
to do it.
concern.
Yeah.
That's an issue, dude.
Because I didn't know that about you at all.
Yeah.
Like let's bring down the tempo for a second here and
feel
be
like I'm okay.
really serious. You're clearly not. Like you are not okay for multiple reasons, all of which you just mentioned.
Why? Because I have lucid nightmares that I can't wake up from, and when I do, I can't
Every
move.
night?
I'm frozen in bed.
Yeah.
Well, that whole thing doesn't happen every night.
You just said
typically-
you have nightmares every single night.
Oh yeah, I have nightmares every night. But
That's an issue in of itself. Not
don't
even
go
just
through-
then coupled with the other things.
I don't
That's
go through.
a problem,
I realize
dude.
it's a dream. I can't wake up, and I have fucking sleep paralysis every night.
That's still.
It doesn't matter.
But it's really
all
fucking
an
scary.
issue.
It's way scarier to wake up and not be able to move than be fucking stuck in the dream.
I mean, depending on what kind of dream, because right now, like I could have a nightmare. What people would qualify as a nightmare. I don't have.
Well, that's all
nightmares
right.
now.
What do you qualify as a nightmare?
I guess something that makes you feel uncomfortable inside the dream. Little kids, it might be scary. Just something uncomfortable inside the dream would qualify as a nightmare.
Wait, little kids that might be scary.
No, I said to little kids, it might be something scary, like monsters or.
Okay.
Like
Oh, I
just
thought
like-
you were saying in your dream that little kids might be scary
Oh,
to you.
Oh, no, fuck that. I'll beat a little kid.
And
the
then
fuck up.
also,
Oh, beat a little
I'll beat a little kid the fuck
I
up.
was gonna say you should know better than to mention little kids in your dreams. Like it just that in itself is just
Nah.
sounds bad. But
Just anything I guess that would make you feel uncomfortable would technically qualify as a nightmare, right? Like inside the
I
dream.
don't know. That's what I'm asking. Like, what do you define?
Yeah, I mean,
as? If that's-
uncomfortable or like fearful.
Because uncomfortable is
But
one thing,
both.
but fearful
Uncomfortable
is
and
yeah.
fearful. I mean, those kind of go hand in hand. to
No, they
me.
don't.
In dreams?
You know, if you don't like somebody and you're around them, that makes you uncomfortable, but doesn't scare
No,
you.
yeah, I
You're
know.
not
No, I know
fearful
what you
of
mean.
it.
Like sometimes, a lot of the dreams that I have, like that I'll call a nightmare, are not like terrifying. Like you feel like
Yeah.
you're in danger. It's more like anxiety inducing.
With-
Like I had to drive on the wrong side of the road today because that's the way they routed traffic, and I was like, this doesn't fucking feel right. And it was like, you know, I wasn't like.
and you just couldn't, your mind wouldn't just go with it.
Couldn't just like focus on it because I knew it, dude. I was on the wrong side of the Pulaski Skyway, so I was
Oh,
like,
fuck that.
Exactly. Thank you.
Oh, fuck that.
So just imagine driving on the
No.
opposite side of
No, I understand, but I
Imagine
just
driving across the Ben Franklin on the wrong side.
no, I understand.
Even though the lane's closed, you're just kind of like, this isn't right. I should
Right.
be next to the rail on this side of the bridge.
I've experienced stuff like that, but for me, it just I don't know. Like,
So it's not
because I've also
fearful.
driven.
It's
I've
like-
driven
it's-
on roads, on bridges, for instance, that have like just as that there is one bridge that goes one way, and then
Another bridge
50 yards the other bridge go in the other direction. So
Yeah.
like to me that I make that quick association.
Yeah.
and then it's not an issue for me anymore.
So I mean that in the perspective of it is anxiety inducing because
Right.
it's this like, what the fuck, I'm on the wrong side of the bridge type of, especially on that fucking bridge. I might not feel that way on another bridge, but fucking on that.
No, I know.
bridge,
As an
definitely
example,
feel
that is a
way.
good example.
Plus, I've
I
almost
just,
died on
you know.
that bridge more than once.
I think you've almost died on any road. Almost more than once.
I've almost died, dude. I almost
Okay,
died
so-
on that bridge like a month ago.
Let's see, I think I've got some major stories about when I first didn't even realize that you had narcolepsy, and we'd be fucking driving, coming from like the Irish pub. Mm-hmm. Like he'd like take us back to some like his house or something like that, and he'd be sleep driving, and I'd be like, "Yo, wake up!" It got so much to the point where I just accepted him sleep driving, and I was like falling asleep in the car. So I'm like, "Well, this nigga got it." I know if we die,
All of a sudden, it's like you're giving the speech of Fight Club in your head. Like, what would you do before you died if I want to build a house?
But that's basically how it was.
Right.
Like, we would be maybe coming back here or just some random place, and I could always tell when he was about to start sleeping because you do some little cough thing, like you drive and you say, and then you shake your head, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. It's about to start happening. And then it starts happening, accurate. And I look at it, I'm like, all right, well, my seatbelt's on. Let me just text my mom. But I'm cool. Like we could go at any moment. I just got that comfortable because
I was driving with my friend Jay Montag. We were at Seaside until like 3 a.m. We're driving back. We get back to Trenton. I'm falling asleep driving. We're like around the corner. Like we live blocks from each other. We're around the corner from where we're supposed to be. We stop at a 7-Eleven. I chug a Red Bull and drink 2 5-hour energies in the parking lot at 7-Eleven. I make a right. I drive 50 yards to the stop sign. I fall asleep. Fucking stop. He was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I fucking woke up. Like, I was like, oh, I'm really tired. And he was like, you just fucking drank 2 5-hour energies in a Red Bull. How the fuck did you do this? It's not fucking, it's not about energy. It's a fucking, it's a neurological
it's a
thing.
Fucking
Your
lifestyle,
body's like,
man.
it's time to go to sleep. You need to fucking sleep.
That's hysterical.
But I've noticed that fucking changing my diet has reduced that dramatically. Like,
but you still get nightmares.
Yeah, but I don't think the one's related to the other.
Do you feel like the things that you might eat are giving nightmares? Because I heard if you eat ice cream before you go to bed, it gives you nightmares. Which is not.
Are you
true.
just looking for an excuse
I
to
don't
eat ice cream
know.
before
No,
bed?
But
because I don't really like ice cream. I can't eat sweets that much. I don't know if it was because of something that happened when I was younger or what, but like
it's probably from that time I coated my dick in sugar and just shoved it in your mouth until you cried.
That's crazy because I don't remember. That might be one of those fucking dreams that you were talking about. I feel like it has to be.
The only sweet that I'll eat 100% of the time is pastilla, and that's because my grandmother used to make it. So if someone like makes it or I see it, which is
You got to remind me because it doesn't sound.
It's a cake made out of linguine. It's like egg linguine, egg, and sugar made into a cake. That's
I don't think I know it actually.
Really?
Really?
It's like super traditional Italian dessert. It's usually made like around Easter.
I'll have to look it up because I'm not.
Like pizzelles are Christmas, and at least in my family, pizzelles are Christmas. And
I think I could eat.
We did. Yeah, we did.
It was Easter.
We did struffola. Was a big one for us for Easter, and I mean we did that Christmas time too, but we did that in Easter as well because the little dough balls, and then of course Easter bread, like traditional Italian Easter bread,
right.
You know, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's super dense. It's like you make.
Well, if it's made from pasta, it's gonna have to be.
Yeah, you make a batch of noodles. You fucking turn it into a cake. I don't know.
Yeah, like traditional, like
idea.
it's not like the rum cakes and the ricotta cakes. We used to have those too.
Yeah,
I love a good.
I have no idea how to make it.
Real quick, say what you just said again. The R word.
Rum
No.
cakes.
Nope.
Yeah, cakes.
What did I say?
Because I'm gonna pronounce it wrong and everybody's gonna laugh at me.
Ricotta.
Say it again.
Ricotta.
It sounds like you putting a G in it.
I probably was, yeah.
But you were doing the same thing downstairs.
Right.
Ricotta, yeah.
Ricotta.
There's no G in that.
There is. Caesar
It's
G's in Italian.
Caesar G's.
It's no. Well, you know what it is? It's a slang. It's the pronunciational slang of how to say the word. Like,
yeah, it's a regional dialect.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm stupid
Like
every time
Southern Italians,
order a pizza
specifically
with it on it.
Sicilians,
Sicilians
you'll
and
notice that they'll
Nepalese.
actually drop off the ends of the words. Like instead of mozzarella, it's mozzarella. They'll
Caesar G's and G's or C's.
Yeah. So
like there used to be a restaurant in
the
Italian neighborhood in Trenton.
And Caesar G's.
Yeah, called it was Crecos, but it was Grecos.
Or like Knicker?
Crecos. What's that?
Like Knicker.
Knicker?
Yeah. Instead of
Well, no, because
Like-
if you're gonna
like
say
their
that in
shoes?
Italian, it's gonna be.
I
I
thought
don't
you
even
meant
know.
like Knickerbockers.
But yeah, and both of him and I have predominantly Sicilian.
It's Sicilian,
In our-
Nepalese, Roman.
Yeah, in my family, it's Sicilian and Roma. But it was my grandfather was the Sicilian side, so he was the dominant of the like the dialect to speak and stuff. So yeah, we say monogot instead of manicotti.
So is that kind of like the same thing with like my ancestors, like the cliques and shit? No, not even on the same wavelength. Exactly, like shit like that. It's like on the same wavelength.
I thought they were just speaking in Morse code.
No, I thought beats me.
It's you know what?
To you too. Thank you.
It's exactly like that.
Okay.
It's yes. You hit the nail on the head, proverbially.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No,
It's like a regional dialect. It's
I
like
get
how
it.
people in the South here speak stupid.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
It's the same
Like
idea as
people in the
having
South speak
a.
racist?
Like someone,
It's like having a twang.
like someone. From,
Literally, it's like having a twang.
How someone from the South could be the smartest person you ever met, but because they talk to you like this, there's no fucking way.
You're
like that they could sound
Stamp
intelligent
them
no matter
stupid
what
immediately.
they're saying. Or the way you could talk to a British person who's a complete moron, but they sound like they're brilliant because they have a British accent.
Yep.
Actually, it's nothing like that, but it is a dialect.
We're gonna say it is.
Neither of those examples.
No, I think they were fairly close, like the twang of a South, or you know.
Yeah. So anyway,
I like how you made me repeat the word just a couple. Like, say it.
I'll say it both
Such a
ways.
pussy.
I'll say it both
See,
ways.
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with saying
People
ricotta.
look at me like, nah.
Tell them to go fuck themselves.
I mean, I could.
Even within Italian culture, there's so many different ways to say something. People will correct each other all the time. Go
Like a
fuck
pizza
yourself.
shop, like a full-blooded Sicilian or Italian pizza shop.
Yeah, so what? By the way, Sicilians are Italians, even though they won't admit it. Go ahead.
Be like, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, get the fuck
Well,
out my back.
Sicily's
Because you said
technically
ricotta.
not really.
That doesn't
Italy.
happen.
I feel like it could though.
No, I think that's just your anxiety talking from a nightmare. That's not going to happen.
You know what type of nightmares I have?
Clearly about little children and pizza shops.
Not in the slightest bit. You know what kind of fucking nightmares I have?
Don't turn and ask him when you already asked
Because it
me.
pertains to him.
What?
That I'm at fucking work. And I'm not joking. Those are my nightmares. And I'm like,
You seriously have
Like, I'm
nightmares
not-
about work?
I legit have nightmares about work.
Yeah.
If you would call those nightmares.
You've
like,
never had kitchen nightmares. You've never had dreams where the
That's
ticket
all I
printer's
dream
gonna-
about.
And you're like, where the fuck are all these tickets coming
Exactly,
from?
and I'm
You're
like, I'm
scrambling
not
in the
even-
kitchen.
I'm not drunk.
Okay, I've had anxiety about it, like Expo and being on the line, like yeah, but I don't know if I would
Screen
be
turn
as
red.
dramatic about it.
That's like, those are the type of nightmares.
Your eyes are
But that's
bulging
the
out
same
of your
thing, right?
skull
Like, it's
talking
not
about it.
fear, it's anxiety.
But it's like,
Those are like a lot of the
and I have
nightmares.
nightmares that like I'm at work, but I'm late for work, and I'm like, I'm asleep.
Yeah, see,
That should even happen.
I think for me, instead of having those nightmares, my hair just falls out. So it's that's my way.
After all the years I know you, it still looks the same. Ooh, I lied. Oh my god, nigga, you should wear a yarmulke back then. It's
You can meet a nice Jewish girl.
I'm Jewish now, apparently.
no, it still looks good.
Well, it's because I still look good.
Your hair still looks good. Yo, you both look like you haven't aged a bit. I probably look older to you guys than you guys look.
No, you still look like you're like 22.
I feel like I look older.
That's why I said like 22.
When you first originally met me, I feel like I look older.
When I first met you, you didn't have the beard.
Yeah, I did.
No, you
It
didn't.
was bigger, actually.
No, there was a time I met you, like when I first met you, you did not have a beard.
Really?
Yeah. You were clean. You were round-faced and clean. You're still round-faced, but yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you met me when I didn't have anything.
Yeah, but then you grew a beard the next week and told me that you were Muslim and you wanted to have to shave.
Yo, look, that was like the perfect excuse. So I could go
Meanwhile, this motherfucker, he would try to. He had to shave for work, and he wouldn't
Yeah.
fucking shave for work, and he would be like, "Oh, I can't because I'm Muslim," so that I couldn't fucking tell him not to shave. Meanwhile, he's wearing a fucking Virgin Mary bracelet. It's like, yeah, motherfucker. You're-
Right.
and eating fucking bacon out of the back.
Right. That's when you got to turn to him and be like,
Potato
"Hey,
nuts.
by the way, it's time. You got to go face east."
And then me not knowing where.
Right.
Mecca
What?
was.
Huh?
So, all right. So I know this was already brought up before we started the show, but I wasn't paying attention to any of it because I was setting up the show. We need to talk about your Reiki.
All right. I feel weird going over it all again because we did talk about it, but there's a lot of backstory to this. Okay, so there's this girl that I knew here for a while. We dated very shortly, but we had a really strong connection. She's an amazing person, really, really cool. Even when I first met her, I knew that she was going to move, so it wasn't a surprise. She ended up moving
All
out.
of this sounds like you're justifying crazy before you even get into the story.
Well, I
I'm
wasn't
just
gonna
going
say anything.
to start with that. But
Well, I'm describing a story kind of like nephew here does, because he's going to go in 2 hours to talk about something that can be culminated in about 3 seconds. Anyway, so she moved out to California. Now, she is from Vermont. She's always been a little hippie-ish, but it's been East Coast hippie, I guess. This is described to me as the difference of hippies out there. She's very much an East Coast girl. She's snarky, she's sarcastic, she's intelligent, she's funny, but she's very dry-witted. She hates people mostly, which is perfect for me. Like that checks all my boxes. Like, sure. Boom. So she moved out to California, and she's always had this inkling for a holistic lifestyle, and it blew up out there. So
she believes in magic.
Yeah, according to her, she won't call it magic, but she believes in magic. So yeah, she's gotten really, really into it.
Does she have a friend wearing big red shoes?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. But she really, really is into Reiki now. She's like she actually paid for classes. She's a certified Reiki master, which I think she had 3 week-long sessions where she was ranked Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Reiki 3, and after Reiki 3, and I think it's like 3 months worth of time, she is now, quote unquote, a Reiki master. She is certified.
Okay. So can she summon like fucking spirit bombs and
yeah,
like spirit bombs? Like spirit Goku bombs from Dragon Ball Z?
Here's the funniest thing about the Reiki is she tells me that she can do, for those who don't know what Reiki is, and I'm going to probably butcher this, but it is the understanding that there are gemstones or stones out there like quartz and
like the infinity
some other stones that I can't think of right now, like the little blue ones or something like that, and each one of them has a specific type of energy.
Infinity gauntlet.
Yes. Well, no.
The gems that go in there?
Right, but those are very specific. These things can have multiple purposes. They can have healing effects, they can have aura effects, they have positive energy effects. And the point is that these stones, you can transfer energy into the stones and then take that energy from the stones and give them to people or help balance people or some shit. I don't know. She thinks that she can do this over long distances. She wants to do a Reiki session. She's in California. I'm here in Philadelphia.
Let me rewind a little bit. How many classes does it take
to become a Reiki master? From what I understand, it goes, I don't know if it's like classes, but it's like week-long sessions.
Sure.
So I believe it's 3 individual week-long sessions. So like you go for 1, then you have to do practices, and then you have to do week 2, and then you're level 2, and then you practice that, and then once you practice it, then you're week 3.
My struggle with this already.
You just have 1? I've got like 30, but yeah, go ahead, just 1. It's like giving a 3-year-old a black belt at this point. It's like, hey, you got your stripes.
Honestly, that's almost the same example I was going to use.
Yeah.
I was like,
you learned how to kick and not fall on your ass, so here's a stripe on your belt.
You can't, if Reiki was real.
Right.
Which it is not.
Right.
There would be no way you could master it in 3 weeks. To master the manipulation of energy fields
in stones,
probably
in stones,
and then and then take that, then be able to master that energy from the stone to healing people or helping people. Like you have a love life issue, there's like a combination of stones and things that happen that boom, it fixes your love life.
So there was a study, oh god, I wish I remembered the name of the school, but there was like this,
and again, I'm probably butchering this, and I'm sure they, but
there's a little, I mean, I have a pretty decent understanding of what it is. There's more than just the stones. It's like, manipulation of energy, it's blah, 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 and the stones aren't necessary, or whatever.
It's more about your belief in it. If you have a belief in it, then you are automatically like more at peace because you're like you're more relaxed about things, and that's really what it is. It's a psychosomatic thing.
That's one of my problems with it. That, you know, the whole stance. So there was a like 14-year-old or something who set out to prove that Reiki was bullshit, and he did a like double-blind placebo study that he set up on fucking Reiki, and I don't remember all the specifics of it, so I'm butchering the story, but the heart of it, the point of it, is that if the Reiki master has the ability to manipulate energy fields and, like, you know, heal pain or emotional scarring or whatever within your body, like, and they claim to be able to heal physical pain and this and that.
Right.
So if you're like doing that, you should know, you know, you should be able to tell based on your ability to manipulate and control energy within someone else's body where you're fucking manipulating that energy. So the experiment was what they did Reiki over a sheet. So they couldn't see like which arm they were holding up or holding down and things of that nature. And they were wrong over like 75% of the time.
Sheesh.
And then the Reiki people justified it by being like, well, it only works if you have a belief in it, and it wouldn't work in a lab setting anyway. And that's basically
which, by the way, is the same arguments they use for psychics.
Yes. Which is really the core of that argument is you only fall for it if you're a sucker. And
well,
because you're not, you don't believe in it, so we can't fucking lie to you. And since it's psychosomatic, they're basically admitting it's bullshit without realizing they're
okay. There is in kind of a, not in a supportive argument, or not, you know, but not necessarily the devil's advocate way either. But there is something to be said, and I'm going against my own initial reactions as well. My initial reaction is, you know, and there's more to the Reiki story with her, but the initial reaction is, how is someone who I find to have a good level of intelligence, because she is a smart person,
right,
end up going down this road? How do you have these beliefs when you are smart enough to believe, to know, and you learn these other things? And
I know some really smart people who believe in,
yeah, well, I mean, this
some shit that I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Well, to me, this actually is the exact same argument that you can start applying to religion, and we're not going to get into that now, but that's a whole nother show all on of its own. And we can talk for hours on that, but the idea is the same thing. Like, you know, how you essentially, you can have studies that will obviously prove that it's bullshit, but your belief in it is what makes it work. And as I was saying this earlier, to give a level of credit, and I have to do this just to be fair, that most people that I do know who do believe in those holistic points of life,
sure,
do seem to have a much more peaceful existence. They seem to be more centered, more relaxed.
You know what?
Now, I don't know
Actually, I disagree with that.
Well, I'm not done yet, so you hold off, because I think I may hit on what you're thinking about.
I might agree with you that most.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said most. Yeah, I didn't say. Did I say all?
No.
I think I said most, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is something that I also feel, and this does not encompass everybody I know who lives this way, but in a generalized, stereotypical perspective of people who have those beliefs, who do seem to have a slightly more peaceful existence, a more relaxed kind of thing, but they don't have as much going on. They're not as intrigued by things in life that, you know, like, for example, for me, if I end up being interested in something, I research it obsessively. Okay. And that happens maybe 10 times a day. Right. Like, I'm always studying, I'm always learning, I'm always giving myself more and more responsibility to not only test myself, but to do more. Right. And in more areas and more aspects of things. And the stereotype of people who are a little more holistic don't do that. And to me, that seems almost like, as peaceful as they think their life is, that also seems to me like a life unfulfilled. They're missing out on so many other things that they're not allowing themselves to get a part of, because they feel that would cause stress or anxiety away from their holistic perspectives of peace. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I also think some of those people are trying to fill a void with bullshit.
Yeah.
And so I do.
But that kind of goes to the same line. Like they're trying to avoid any confrontation just to create a level playing field where they were like, it's almost like the Constanza where like I'm leaving on the high note. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, I got to this point. This is where I believe I don't have like I got to a middle ground where this plane is calm. Nobody's expecting anything from me. So I can live in this life so that I can boom. So that's where I am.
Yeah.
And so I believe in this bullshit so that nobody expects more from me.
So God, I have so much to fucking. There's no way I'll even respond with everything that I was thinking when you said all that. But I think so. I know a bunch of people who are into those types of things, and certain sides of the new age thought process, I'm like, well, that makes sense. I understand.
There's definitely like
some sort of logic in what you're saying, and there's something I agree with in what you're saying. But then it's like
there's definitely perspectives where balance makes sense, where like incorporating some of what they have with what we would do, like finding a middle ground.
There's not a lot of middle grounds though I find like in that thought process, and that like it is a belief system, whether they say it is or it isn't. It is sort of a belief system.
It absolutely is.
It's a belief system the way like voodoo is. Like, it's not really a religion. It's more like, it's not like a organized religion. It's
voodoo is a religion, by the way.
It isn't. It's more like a loose collection of beliefs, and scattered practices. And voodoo actually incorporates a lot of Christianity. It's actually a combination of a lot of native,
it's Creole
island religions plus
it's Creole,
the people who invaded there.
French, island, Mexican, Aztec, like that's Creole. It's all.
But anyway, I feel like there's sides of it that are like, well, that's totally logical. I don't see things the way you see things, but I understand, respect your point of view. See why that's a positive thing in your life, or for anybody to apply that belief to their life, why it would be a good thing. But then there are sides of it that I'm like, this is just such obvious horseshit. How could you possibly fucking buy into it? I think one of the main differences, and not to delve off into this subject or...
I mean, that's what we do.
It is so like, a whole nother 10 hours worth of material.
Right.
But I think one of the main differences that I find, and this is not based on my bias, but in some ways my bias is based on this, to put it that way, is that the difference between people who believe in like new age horseshit, and that's how I classify it, right, versus the people who believe in religion, whether it's a religion that I agree with or a religion that I don't agree with, is the perspective of non-provability. And I find that like with let me get through this thought, because I sort of know like what you're thinking. Is that
I hope you know what I'm
with
thinking.
An organized religion, the burden of proof.
Be careful. Tread lightly, because
no, I don't need to tread lightly. I know the thought. I'm just not sure how to articulate the thought.
Tread lightly was wrong word. Why should you say? Because pretty much you can always come back at you.
There's not a burden of proof, because you're looking at it as, well, I believe in this, but I understand that it's unprovable. Whereas with a lot of like the new age type stuff, like Reiki, for example, or energy healing.
Well, let's
Reiki is a form of energy
healing. Just throw this out there, by the way, that a lot of these holistic forms like Reiki and stuff are actually very, very old, and they've been practiced in certain areas of Southeast Asia and Asia areas for a very, very long time, maybe under different names or different practices, but they ended up culminating into what we now believe is what it is, or what we call it today.
Let me get through this. A lot of the current versions of it are very heavily adapted and hippie culturally influenced versions of things that existed for thousands. They're not the same.
Which they automatically get a negative connotation for their attachment.
But there's a difference, because you can, and there have been like countless tests, studies, research groups, double-blind tests, blah, 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 on things like Reiki, on things like energy healing, on things of that kind of like live in that spectrum that actually can disprove them, whereas like the I believe in this religion, organized, unorganized, whatever, like I hold this religious belief system that I know it cannot be proven, but it also cannot be disproven. The cause and effect nature of like, well, I'm waving my hand this way, so it's healing your body in this manner, or I'm manipulating this joint, so it's having effect on your lower back, which is not fucking connected to it through those things have actually actively been disproven over and over and over again.
So really what you're saying is the difference is a belief in a supernatural deity versus the belief in something that's tangible. And with tangibility, there is an ability to disprove it. When
Exactly.
if it's a blind deity, then you can't say anything about it because it's your
summarizing what I said way better than I did.
It's like me saying my imaginary best friend is sitting right here.
Sure.
And you can't say no.
I can't say no.
But if I say that this thing is alive, this speaker is alive, you can prove it's not.
Your motherfuckers better say no. He better
Fucking exactly. Exactly. It's
Don't talk about him like that.
you can argue, like, you can take the whole man in a sky fucking stance on religion, but you're not going to sway someone's belief because
Right.
they already know it can't be proven or disproven.
Here's the really interesting fact about
anything.
that, though.
But with fucking holistic healing, and some of it is like the nutrition based stuff, a lot of that is not only provable, but most of it has been proven accurate. But the whole like energy healing, chanting healing kind of
The idea of a chakra, which that bleeds the line.
That
Did he just shush me?
no. That does blur the line because there are actually a lot of really strange parallels between that and a lot of other, like, actually universally, religious beliefs, and there's actually like scientific stuff backing up chakras to some sort of extent, but with like zone healing and
that's
I
all.
keep circling around this one example, but acupuncture, like
you were telling me that recently, wasn't there a study that just completely debunked acupuncture, right?
Totally.
Well, here's the really interesting part for me is the idea or the understanding that everything, stones, minerals, different types of stones, have, just like even people do have their own energy.
An inherent energy field. Yeah.
We have our own energy field. We do the whole, like, television sci-fi of things vibrating at a specific frequency. That is a real thing. I mean, nothing does sit free. Everything is moving at all times.
Right.
But you get a stone that does have a level of magnetic field, an idea of a gravity orbit, the whole thing. It's so minuscule, it's so minute that for people to use things like stones, like if you were to use quartz or something like that, in the sense of healing somebody or in a sense of transferring electrons to make somebody whole, and that is literally something that it's supposed to do. It's supposed to transfer that energy to if you're missing energy. It would take a rock the size of Everest to even register, let alone do anything for an individual person. There's no physical way that what they believe is possible. It's just not physically possible. You can't do it.
Right.
But the idea, the theory, the fantasy of doing it is based off of something that ironically is real, is something that's true.
Totally.
Yeah, and that's the almost clown-like nature of the system, because it's we're going to take this little thing, even though it's going to take about 10 billion tons of this to even register that there's possibility to do it, but this little stone, I believe, is going to make you a whole person again, and that's what's hysterical.
That's also where sort of circling back, you say there's a lot of people who live life that way that are happy. I know a whole lot of people who are on that. I mean, my wife's a yoga teacher. A lot of people that she knows are like into that bullpucky.
I love how you took a minute to find the right word, and then you came out with bullfucking, which is a new one to me, but I like it. We'll keep it going.
Bullpucky.
Yes.
So
write it down on the board. Bullpucky.
What's the name of this episode? Episode 3.
We're gonna put that on a T-shirt and start selling it. That's our first.
Bullpucky and rip shit.
Right. That's our first T-shirt.
This is fucking gonna sound awful, but a lot of those people I find
isn't that why we're here?
Are really fucking empty inside.
No, but that goes to what I was saying before.
But that's what
they're not fulfilled.
They're not.
They
they're
find
not happy.
this plane of
like,
existence of just like mundaneness, and they think that that's peace, but they're missing out on so much else in life.
It's like enjoying bland food. It's it's just it's like,
what is this weird crystallic material that came out of the ocean? It makes food taste better,
right? I find a lot of them. Some of them I know very fucking well that are just like, they're just trying to fucking take up space because they feel empty or lost with bullshit. They sort of accept this bullshit and kind of like trick themselves into thinking that they're, okay. But really it's just a way, it's just like anything else. Everybody has some sort of void that they're trying to fucking fill. Some people are filling it with fucking music. Some people are fucking booting heroin in the fucking alleyway. Some people are, are doing this or doing that. Some people are fucking smoking cigarettes. Like,
some people are doing a podcast.
Some people are doing a podcast. Some people are
Don't
fucking.
include me with your bastards. It's just fun.
Some people are stroking their dick raw to fucking YouPorn.
Right.
Some people are like.
We all laugh because we don't know what that is.
Pulling in this fucking new age horseshit to fucking fill this void, and just like everyone else.
Well, then there's that argument of saying, what's wrong with that? If everybody does have a void, if that's their, and again, I'm just devil's advocating.
I think just like a lot of those scenarios, they ultimately know in like their heart of hearts that it's fucking bullshit and it's something they're just doing to fucking fill the void. Whereas
it's like escapism.
They could just realize, you can just exist in the void, and having nothing going on is sort of fucking okay. And sometimes makes you more interesting, and you could even be more interested in yourself because you've like, I strive to have nothing fucking going on. Like that would be
right. That's
my ultimate goal.
That's vacation time.
Fucking nothing. Nothing. I have nothing going on. Like that would make me so fucking happy. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people who are into that shit ultimately, like they know it's horseshit, and they just accept it as reality because, not that it's easier than to fucking acknowledge it isn't there, but it's easier to accept that than to acknowledge that sort of like emptiness that they fucking have, which could ultimately be filled with anything else.
I don't know. I'm okay with somebody if they want to, if that's what they want to fill their void with. And
yeah, I don't have an issue with it. I can't help but
you almost feel pity,
the silliness in it. Yeah, a little bit.
I feel I don't know if pity's the like what I get why pity is obviously the first word that came into my mind. I don't necessarily know if it's pity personally that I feel,
but it's something similar.
But it's something like because I think just like you, and we do think a lot of similarly on a lot of things, and it is that feeling of you're missing out because you're focusing on the wrong things, you're picking the wrong battle. To fight, and if you just let that go, you're gonna find that nothing's gonna change, but you're gonna have all this time now open to explore things that could have much greater impact on your life. Because another thing that I do notice about them, just like heavy religious people, is it's 24/7. The way that they live this lifestyle is it really does delve into every aspect of their life, and it actually it navigates their decisions on everything that they do. And I'm not going to argue that that's a bad thing, but I am going to say that I don't think that's, from my personal opinion, is I think that you're missing out on so many missed opportunities, so many chances to explore and experience just anything beyond that, and not letting that steer your choices really does open your mind to better, to happier things. And so I think I agree to that. Now that we've kind of covered essentially how we really feel about all of this. So this wonderful girl moved out to LA, and we still keep in touch. We're still very close friends. We still talk. She recently she's really so into it now that it's almost unforgiving. Like I'm finding myself not being able to relate as frequently as I used to, not being able to build conversation as much anymore, because her whole life seems to be centered around that, and every conversation, that's the target of the conversation.
Did you know that before?
Well, it's not how it was before. She was able to separate. We were able to talk about certain things, and then that may come up in conversation or might not, and then we could talk about other things. We were, we had other subjects,
avenues to talk about, but this is like.
But now, I mean, this is it. Like it's everything in her life revolves around this. She just posted a picture where she got her, saying this with air quotes, she got her aura photographed. And I showed you the picture slightly. I'll show you in a little bit. It's a Polaroid picture. She's on the bottom of the picture, and it looks like an old school, like rainbow colored afro wig around her head.
It might just be because the picture didn't fully develop.
Well, see, that's kind of that. See, that's the problem though, because it's a Polaroid picture. Obviously, there's going to be like it doesn't seem that far fetched on to be able to manipulate it to create that effect. Yet she sees this, and whoever sold it to her as it's like an old school medicine man in the West. Like, here, this tonic will fix all your ails, and meanwhile it's just mineral oil.
Put a hole in your
Who
head
is?
to
There's a
headaches.
guy.
Right, exactly. So like, okay, I get, every step she takes, I'm like, okay, all right, I think I know you're smarter than this, but this is all right. You're getting deeper. You're getting deeper. It's not that far in my mindset from the idea that she's kind of involved in a cult at this point. Like, if you're going to go that far, then it doesn't mean that you, like, to me, that means that you've already passed the threshold and you will go as far as you can.
And as far as you need to.
Right. And if somebody's able to sell you on the idea that a manipulated Polaroid picture can show you your aura, and we'll not even get into the idea of what an aura is, but you can't, the color light spectrums, like, you can't, it's not a thing. You can't do that.
That's very similar to people who just are into fucking psychics and shit like that too, though, where
right. But this goes back to my whole point of saying, like, where do you cross that line? Like, all right, yeah, we know very bright people who believe in these certain things. Where, like, how does that line get crossed? Where does that person, you feel like that person got lost? They are now, they have been manipulated, and they are now lost. And for some reason, they feel that they are getting what they need from this perspective, or they are convinced that what they need, it can only be gotten from this perspective. And that's why I say, like, it's at this point, it's not far for her to be in a cult like setting, like, and that scares me.
If that perspective fucking helps somebody, then good for them. But
if for the outside perspective, I don't see it as helping her in the way that, not the way that I think she needs her
further
to
into.
I see her as losing more in the long run than gaining.
But if she feels comfortable with it, I'd say just let her.
No, sure.
No,
like I say, it's not my responsibility to, like, hold her hand and direct her. I'm not her parent. I'm not her boyfriend. I'm not her husband. Like, I don't.
Come on, this shit don't make no sense.
But it's also my responsibility as a friend to make sure that I'm there for her in the best way that I know possible. And that doesn't mean debunking her beliefs or turning and saying what you think is bullshit and you need to come back to the light. Mm-hmm. But it's also
come back to the world.
Right, come back to the world, not that, but it should also be me having the guts to recognize when I think she might be going a little bit down a path of the wrong way that may be steering her in a different direction than knowing her I think she wants to be on. And me bringing it up isn't being a bad friend. Me trying to manipulate her in a different way would be, but me just bringing it up saying, hey, let's talk, because I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel like the things that you're starting to believe, the path you're going down may not be in your best interest.
I think a lot of times you just have to let people ride that fucking coaster and see.
But I also have to be a little selfish, just because this girl is amazing. I want her in my life. I want to keep, and
yeah, but you can't.
I don't think that's uncommon for people to say. I mean, I'm just saying it in reality. Like, no, of course, it's selfish of me in part too.
I mean, there's a reality that you can't fucking.
She just has to move back to the East Coast, and I think that snarkiness will eat back into her body, and she'll start to be angry again, and that's when I'll like her.
People go that. It's just, everyone who I've seen has gone that way. Almost all of them I know fucking move out west or move out of the country and come back or whatever, and then they come around here and they're like, oh, I can't handle the type of people that are out here anymore. They're rude, they're snarky, they're this, they're that. They don't want to be in this environment anymore, so they go somewhere where like people are different, they're more easygoing, and really what they're saying is, I'm trying to go somewhere that's a little further away from reality so that I don't have to fucking deal with like real life.
Oh yeah, no, she is sold on California. Like that's it for her. Like she knows at this point, she's told me already. She's like, I love it out here.
Well, California knows how to party.
That's what I hear.
Especially the city of Compton. The city of Compton?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
They keep it rocking, man.
I don't know. You look like you're a little more from East LA right now than you are from Compton, but
look, I fuck with the cholos out there, man.
Yeah.
Just know that.
Know that. So
this whole thing
there was a very lighthearted end of the story, but we've got a little serious on it, so I don't want to. I'll bring it up another time. But the idea of Reiki and then having a friend being sucked into the occult of Reiki, and it's all a lot, and it's overwhelming, and to see it's bad, because I see it, as I'm sure you do. The best way that I just can describe it is I see it as a deterioration of this person.
Yeah, totally.
And I know that's the wrong mentality, and I should be open to it, but I see it as a deterioration. I see it as her losing a part, parts of herself to overcompensate this other part of herself.
I've also seen people,
and she's out of balance now, which is ironic because it's Reiki.
It's all about balance, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people go that way, and it works out for them, but
I hope it does. I really hope for the best. I really do.
See it that way. More often than not, I see people go down that direction and
not come back.
Yeah, and it's like it's this weird perspective where they're like, everyone's lost, man. Society's lost, and it's like, dude, you're lost. You're just so fucking lost. You don't remember where the road is.
I mean, a lot of this is, and I will absolutely admit it. A lot of this is very selfish, because I do miss her. She is awesome, a great person to hang out with, and we get along really well. But I don't know how much longer I can end up relating to someone who ends up going down this road too much. So of course part of it is selfish, but we're all selfish people, so it doesn't matter.
To quote Alec Baldwin, never follow a hippie to a second location. This whole thing's making me think of, I wish I could remember the guy's name, but I don't. He considers himself a mentalist. And he does.
Well, see, the thing about mentalists is they know what they do is.
Yes, well, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
He
They know it's parlor.
I really wish I could remember the guy's name, but he does these shows and these presentations, and each one he's like stressing like, this is not magic. Magic is not real.
Right.
People who tell you psychic, they're using these cold reading techniques, and they can tell you all kinds of shit about you. People who say they're magicians and they have studied magic, they're lying to you, and this is what they're doing. And he's like, I won't reveal how I'm doing this stuff because you won't come to my show and I won't make money.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I will let you know that everything I'm doing, there's a trick to, there's a gimmick, there's a reason that I can figure out what you're thinking or what you're going to say next. There's a reason that this happens and it looks like it's supernatural. It is not. It's bullshit. You're gullible. On with the show. And by the way, those people are fucking bad people because they're taking people who are essentially like hopeless and empty and looking for something to fill the void for a fucking ride and taking their money. Like that fucking Long Island psychic or whatever.
Which is ironically the argument that those specific people give is that they say they're giving people hope.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you're actually taking that hope
You're
away. I think
selling
But it's
false hope.
And they're scum of the earth.
Yeah.
But I mean, just a personal opinion.
There was one guy, and I can't fucking remember his name either, but he got busted for having fucking. They would bring people into small rooms and do demonstrations, and there would be like a waiting room before everybody goes into the main room where he does the show.
John Edwards, maybe?
It wasn't John Edwards. It was some, I can't remember his name, but he did like smaller shows. But he would mic up the rooms and have like people who, and he got busted, where he would have people planted and they would be sitting next to somebody and be like, you know, oh, why are you here? And they're like, oh, you know.
Yeah. Or
my
they do
Uncle
like the
Steve-
interviews as people
my
are waiting
Uncle
in
Steve
line.
passed away,
Yeah.
and you know, I want to see if I can talk to him, and you know, and then the show, the guy's on stage, he's like, someone's trying to talk to you, your Uncle Steve, and they're like, oh, holy shit, because they
Right.
think that the guy in line was
Just
someone else
another-
who was in the show, but it was just someone who was a fucking planet. He got busted and fucking sued for all kinds
That happened a
of
long time. That was like in the early 90s or something like that happened, right?
Yeah, it was like, you know, it wasn't like super. It might have been the late 90s, but
Stefan, that
this
was your
is what
mom,
most
right?
of these guys fucking do.
My mom?
Yeah. Wasn't your mom who got busted? Oh, no. That was for something else. She got busted.
My mom used to be Miss Cleo. She's currently serving a fucking life sentence.
Yeah, but she's got
Wasn't
a cool
Miss
mill
Cleo
sitting in a bank account somewhere.
Miss Cleo was not only not a psychic, but Miss Cleo was a man.
Shut the fuck up.
Miss Cleo was a dude.
Wait, what?
Miss Cleo was a dude.
No.
Mr. Cleophas?
Yes.
Like,
No. Look that shit up and prove it to me right now, because no.
Miss Cleo was a guy.
I don't believe him. Do you believe him? Don't hesitate. You do or you don't.
Probably. That's the bad part.
I'm gonna say I'm doubting Thomas on this one. I need to see it to believe it.
Everything that he ever says, and I don't believe, in my heart of hearts, I believe, because of the shit that I priorly said, no, they can't fucking be right. And then I Googled it, and it was right. So I believe this shit.
Okay, all right.
Unfortunately.
No, I'm wrong.
I'm gonna wait.
You just made everything go downhill.
Right.
Man.
No one will ever trust you again.
Not once.
No.
Not one iota of trust is left.
Miss Cleo was
you're
it? Where did you pull that shit out of your ass?
I
by the
remember.
way?
Well, I heard it. I'm just parroting bullshit that somebody else told me. Yuri Del Harris, better known as Miss Cleo, is an American who describes herself as a psychic and shaman.
Is herself in
like
fucking,
shaman is
a
not
shaman?
is the creepiest fucking word you could use
Right.
to
You
describe
said
herself.
shaman. I heard fucking shaman.
So she's a guide that takes you into the mountains.
Who achieved fame
Oh, that's
as
a Sherpa.
spokeswoman for
A
the
Sherpa.
psychic
Sherpa,
pay-per-view
sorry.
service.
She
from
could be that too. I don't know.
2003.
Even though she's from Jamaica.
Harris used various aliases, including LaShonda Williams, Corvette Mama, Eleanor St. Julian, Desiree Canterlaw, Janet Snyder, Maria Del Campo. Dude, she had this racket going a long time. Christina
Yeah,
Garcia.
I gotta say, Corvette Mama is
Yuri
probably one of the
Paris.
best ones in that racket because that
Corvette
just
Mama does not
speaks
sound
white
like
trash.
does not
that's
sound like
that's
a
a
psychic.
that's a Bible Belt fucking RV park name if I ever heard one. Corvette Mama is the kind of thing that you get a vanity plate with, or you get it like airbrushed onto the side of your like, Pinto.
She was definitely
It says
not
Corvette Mama.
She was definitely not Jamaican.
So no.
Put that out there also.
Oh no, I was joking. I used air quotes when I said Jamaican. By the way,
maybe that's what I was thinking, that she wasn't actually Jamaican.
Yeah.
Corvette Mama.
Corvette Mama.
Fucking, do you either remember the Psychic Friends Network?
I think so. It
Like
sounds
Dionne
familiar.
Warwick in the
80s.
Fucking.
You said in the 80s?
In the 80s.
Yeah, that was the end of the 80s too. That was after Dionne Warwick's singing career was over.
Yeah.
You guys
And
must
then
forget
she-
how old I fucking am.
So this
The end of the 80s.
Dionne Warwick was
I barely remember the 90s.
Dionne
What year
Warwick
were you
was
born?
a singer.
91.
So there was an expose on Psychic Friends Network and how they put these people into like, because they just, when you called, you didn't talk to Dionne Warwick, you talked to whoever answered the fucking
Right,
phone.
yeah.
They were
This was just before Cleo.
And there was like 40, 50 people in a room just in a call center, like, you know, any other call center,
right.
just answering the phone.
Any customer service.
And they put these guys through like super intensive phone screening or cold reading.
Customer service. Just like,
Cold reading fucking
Yeah.
technique training where they would teach them how to cold read. And
Which,
the people
by the
would
way,
call, and they would spend like,
is your basic sales training. Your basic corporate sales training is cold training. It's the exact same level, like base level of training. Cold training, like for psychic kind of stuff, goes a little bit further, but the core of it. But yeah, no, it's basic corporate sales training is is where that stems from.
yeah, they would teach them cold reading, but they like showed how much money they made, and then fucking basically they were like, they did a demo search of like all the people who called in, and they were all like men and women in their
Low income.
like 40 to 70 years old, low income, typically single, extremely lonely and depressed, and they were basically calling because they needed friends. So they all, like, as they surveyed the people who would call in all the time, they were like, yeah, ultimately we know it was all bullshit, but, you know, we need someone to talk to. And they basically just fucking preyed on, you know,
That's crazy.
lonely, helpless, not helpless, but you know what I mean, like.
Well, I mean,
People who feel
no,
sorry
you
for
can
themselves.
at that point, I think it's fair to say that they are helpless, and because that level of loneliness, that level of depression is crippling.
Yeah.
They
And
were looking for an answer.
yeah,
They were that desperate to look for an answer in somebody else.
sure.
So
Anyway, so all right, no, I want to talk about, and this. I'm sorry, listeners, this is a quick cutoff, but I want to talk about pet ownership, specifically dog ownership. It's a lot different out in the suburbs, but when you live in a city and you have a dog that you walk, it's really, really frustrating because you are always confronted by two extremes. The first is people who are afraid or want nothing to do with you, or you like the fact that you can't bring your pet around anywhere, and there's like almost this kind of like you have leprosy because you have a dog. You know, people literally cross the street to avoid you, which personally for me is actually not a bad thing, but it's still kind of frustrating because your initial reaction at some point is still like, you know, like, what, was there something wrong with me? Something wrong with my dog? Like, why the fuck are you crossing the street? You know, go ahead. What? The fact that he just stuck the cat in the
fucking closet.
in the fucking closet. Yes. That is funny. As we're talking about
like a
as
fucking video camera here.
as we're talking about pet ownership,
right there.
We need to start that shit up.
as we're talking about pet ownership, he sticks his cat in the closet. But yeah, so the other side of the coin are people who feel that they have the right to pretty much treat your dog
As if it's their dog.
as if not only as if it's their dog, but as if they are dating said dog. There are a lot of stories that I have. My dog, I live in the city. I have a shepherd. He's
Well, you know, to be quite honest, if it wasn't for your dog, we probably wouldn't even fuck with you, Kevin.
It is the icebreaker. It's
Wow.
true.
So you guys, the fact that I still came in before I brought my dog into the coffee shop,
We didn't
and
notice you.
still know people.
We didn't notice you.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody does notice the dog, but I'm not talking about times where I'm not talking about times where I'm creating a friendly environment where people are, because
Right.
people at Saxby's, people asked to see the dog, to pet the dog.
Right,
There was an
right.
interaction that occurred. That whole thing, like,
I think I remember one time where I think you actually did get upset. And I think like everybody else got upset too because it was like there was like one person that didn't ask or something like that.
oh yeah, no, I blatantly will say something if somebody doesn't ask
That
to
was
pet
more
the
than one
dog.
time.
Yeah, but it was like one distinct time that it got kind of like overboard. I feel like.
Oh yeah, I might have gone a little.
And I feel like everybody that was around, like that worked there, was like, "Yo, don't get fucked up in Saxby's. Like, we'll throw hot coffee in your face."
About me?
Yeah, not yours, but the person that was messing with Ando.
Trying to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, oh, pour hot coffee on me. No, about yeah.
Ando was big as shit. We wouldn't do that.
And no, but that's the thing. Ando gets, like, people love him. There used to be a movie rental place. This is years back, called TLA down on Locust Street, 15th and Locust, and I would go in there with Ando, and everybody, like all the people who worked there, would love him. They would be like, oh, Ando's here. They would all gather, ignore all the other customers. They would bring him around the counter to give him treats. They would take him outside to pee. Like they loved him. When I would go in there without Ando, they had no idea who I was. Like I was like, no, they actually changed the name on my account to Ando's dad,
Right.
because and I had to tell them when I go and like, oh, and after a while they finally they're like, oh right, yeah, no, yeah, you're cool, we know you now too. But Ando
What the fuck is Ando?
the dog is Ando's my dog. He's always the celebrity, and I really can't take him anywhere without and somebody at some point immediately trying to pet him, say hi. I've had people, and most of them look very much like cat ladies, who try to make out with the dog. Like they get so attached, they want to get so loving with the dog that they get down and they start kissing him.
Don't stick your tongue.
But they don't just start kissing him like on the top of the head. Like they're around like trying to kiss him on the mouth, and I'm like, whoa, okay, just.
You didn't even take him out for a bowl of kids.
Right, like at least give him a reach around. Like just do something. This is ridiculous.
Red Rocket, the dude, man.
So, in the city, because everybody is, somebody has an allergy or somebody's overly sensitive about some stupid bullshit. You can't take the dog into 99% of the places that you want to when you go out. So, unfortunately, that means that you have to tie him up outside at times. And it gets really frustrating because I don't understand. Maybe it's a way that people are raised. I don't know, but and I definitely thank my parents for raising me correctly in this respect. You don't go up to a random dog. Here's one of the things that really, really pisses me off. If somebody goes up to a dog to pet the dog, even though the dog is secure, they go to pet the dog. The dog snaps at them to say, I don't like this, don't do this. The person gets injured or feels injured. There is a definite potential, if that person who felt injured or got injured decides to take it further, that the dog and the dog's owner are the ones who end up getting punished, because it can get to the point, if it's severe enough, that the dog gets put down. And I've actually heard stories with that as a case. I mean, there are extreme stories, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
Right.
So what I don't understand is, how are people so stupid that they feel they are the dog whisperer, or that they don't need to because, oh, well, your dog seems friendly, so I just went up and started petting him. Now, my dog is extremely friendly. He will not bite you. He just won't. He just, like, seriously, he killed a fly once and he looked at it expecting it to get up and play again. Like he got sad about it. Like he really got sad about killing a fly. He's really that sweet. Like he's such a pussy.
I think when you have him on the street, part of it is that you do walk him without a leash. So I think there's...
I don't always, but yes, I do sometimes. Yeah,
I think there's an assumption.
Well, no, that's
better be a safe assumption.
But people don't do that when he's off leash. When I'm walking with him, they do that when he's tied up outside of the coffee shop.
See, that's
when people go up to him. I do find that when I'm walking without a lead, when I'm walking him in the city, if people see me with him, more times than not, people will ask to pet him, and I thank people for doing that immediately to kind of like, just to reiterate that they're doing the right thing and saying, yes, thank you for this. I find that people try to pet him or try to do something with him while he's tied up and I'm not around.
Right.
And that's what's curious to me. At what point did you assume that you're just going to see this dog and just walk up and think...
See, I almost feel like even having them outside gives a certain degree of comfort too. Like, my dogs will fucking attack somebody.
Right.
Absolutely. They're less.
But if I see your dogs tied up outside, I'm not going to assume that they're vicious dogs.
Well, my dogs would also be snarling and growling at somebody if they were outside. When they
but
walk
also,
past your dog, he's like, "Hey, what's up? Come pet me."
Well, my whole point though is still, it doesn't matter. None of that should matter because you don't know.
Because you don't know.
Having the like
your hand taken off.
Nobody is a perfect character judger of the disposition of another animal, whether it's a person or an animal.
I don't think it should stop with animals. Just
anybody.
Don't touch shit that's not yours. Period.
Right. Like, I really do associate it with a person going up to a stroller, picking the baby out of the stroller and playing with the baby, without asking the parent. Like, literally, you go up and people look at me funny because they're like, well, it's a dog, not a baby. But it's still family to me.
Can't hurt you. But a dog can.
It's still my family to me. Exactly. And anybody who is a dog owner or a pet owner they feel the same way. That's their family, and you don't go up and just start messing with somebody's family.
I've had somebody. So again, I think having them outside is a little. I understand all your points, and I pretty much agree with them. But I do think once you bring him outside, there's sort of an expectation that if you have a comfort level of tying him up and walking away, or keeping him not on a tight leash, or walking without a leash, that it's a safe animal to be around.
That doesn't give somebody the right to go and pet him.
I agree.
Sorry, I'm a little adamant about this. And I have a story today that occurred that really just hit me.
I have somebody walk into my house. They came in on the ground floor. Dogs were in the basement. And they were like, I'm going to go downstairs. I was like, you're not going to go downstairs. The dogs are downstairs. And very, very bravely, he goes, oh, I'm not scared of these dogs. I used to have Rottweilers way bigger. First of all, no, you didn't, because my one dog is easily the size of a fucking Rottweiler.
Yeah, let's also not dispute the fact that Rottweilers are actually very gentle.
Yeah, and the
dogs.
small one, by the way, is part Rottweiler. He's just also part fucking
10 other
whatever he is, beagle, so he's much smaller,
and he's also more jittery, which means he's more proponent to snap at you.
Well, right, he fucking bit him. He's like, I'm not afraid of these dogs. I'm like, dude, it's not a matter of if you're afraid or not. It's a matter of you're going to get
pride
bit.
Issue.
They don't fucking know you. This isn't a fucking how big are your balls contest. This isn't. You're not proving you're brave. You're proving you're stupid.
Right.
Walks down. What's that?
Was that a shot at me?
Walks down the steps, gets fucking immediately bitten.
I don't think we have to make that subtle. I think we can make that pretty
immediately
blatant.
Fucking bitten, and then he's like, oh, your fucking dog bit me, and was bitching for the next fucking, I don't know, 4 months. We were like, dude, stay the fuck away. Don't go down. Don't open this door that has barking dogs behind it and go into a room you don't need to fucking be in, where there's nothing for you and no one for you to talk to, so you can prove you fucking have big balls. You're going to get attacked by a fucking dog. Opens the door, gets attacked by a dog.
Yeah. I don't understand. And maybe I am biased because I've had dogs for a very, very long time. I mean, since I was a teenager, I went a year and a half without any pet, and I almost lost my mind. I was like, I gotta get something. Then I got Ando, but before then it's been dogs for years. So I maybe I am a little unsympathetic to this, but I don't understand it. When I'm walking down the street being a dog owner, I have a tendency to see another dog and I'm like, oh, cool, another dog. But then my brain kicks in and says, hey, you don't know that dog. You don't know the owner. Where's the owner? You have to ask the person.
It's also just fucking common sense.
It's common sense, right? Like, it's not... All right, I'm glad that you said that, because I didn't want to say it, because then it would just kind of seem like... No, it's
fucking... Don't run in the traffic.
Right. Look both ways.
Don't stick your hand out to a dog you don't know.
Right.
Don't fucking alligator.
I don't get why it's such a difficult concept. And it's... Fortunately, again, my dog is... I over-socialized him, so he is way too relaxed around people. He's really is a giant pussy. He's scared of everything. He looks intimidating at people across the street from him, but if they only knew that he is a coward, if you grab his leash, he'll and you start walking, he'll go with you. Like it's and he'll keep looking back to see me, but he'll go with you. And then I over socialized him when he was a puppy. So fortunately, I don't think I really will ever have the issue of him snapping at someone where that would be a cause. But it doesn't mean that, just because something is gentle doesn't mean that you should take advantage and pet it and take, it's not your fucking dog. Stay the fuck away. I don't give a shit if you think he's gentle, if you were passing, if he reached out his nose to sniff your hand because he was hoping you had a fucking dog biscuit in it.
Right.
People don't realize he's not sniffing your hand for you to pet him or you to say hi. He's saying, oh, do you have food? No? Then get the fuck away from me.
Right.
It's not a difficult concept, is it?
Not in the slightest bit.
So why the fuck are people assholes?
Because people are assholes.
So
but it pisses me off. All right, so today...
What spurred this rant now?
Literally every day when I take this dog out. And which is one of the main reasons why for the last at least 4 or 5 years, the majority of time I take the dog out has been at night. I actually take him on his long walks at nighttime when there's nobody out on the street, when we can go to the park and there's nobody out there, so we can run and we can play fetch and I don't have to deal with people. And that's also because I hate people. But so I was out today before I was coming up here, a little bit before I was coming up here, and I had to go to the bank. And so we went out to Rittenhouse Square. Now Rittenhouse Square is essentially the square, the park in Philadelphia. It's the most recognizable, the most tourist, but it's where everybody goes. And I live about 6 blocks south of that, give or take. And about 3 blocks south is when people, it starts to get really trafficked with people. So we're walking, and as we're starting to meet, and he's on leash this whole time. He's on leash during this whole time. We get up about 3 blocks away from the park, and we get stopped on a corner.
Right.
We cross, and somebody wants to talk about the dog, what kind of breed he is. They just start petting him, like, oh, he's so nice, he's so friendly, blah, 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 blah. We cross the street, we get halfway up the next block, we get stopped again.
Right.
We go into the park, and somebody comes up and they come up and they just, oh, I really want to pet your dog. Can I please pet your dog? Let me pet your dog. I drop the leash because he can be off leash, and he goes and he says hi. And then Ando goes to say hi to another dog that's coming in. Now, Ando is well trained that he will not cross a street. He won't go off of a curb. We weren't even near a curb. We were literally like 20, 30 yards away from any kind of curb anyway. Right. The guy shouts and screams, oh, your dog, because he saw another dog. He was going to go say hi to it. We weren't anywhere near it. I called him back quickly without an issue. I was on the phone this entire time.
Right.
People looked at me, see me with my dog, clearly a giant fucking tablet-sized phone on the side of my fucking head.
Right. Me
focused in the conversation that I have on my phone, and then the interruption because they can't stop the urge that they have to need to touch the fur of my animal. Like, it's fucking relax. Don't be rude. Don't be an asshole. Just, I'm on the fucking phone. he's not that special. He's not that unique. I love my dog, but he's just a fucking dog. Like, really? It's not like he's made of diamonds and you're hoping to, like, take a chunk of diamond off of him. Like, what is it? 3 times within a block and a half. I'm on the fucking phone, people. Leave me the fuck alone. Am I wrong?
You're so fucking angry.
He's so angry.
Just don't bother me if you see, like, how rude is that? You're on the phone and it's not even being on the phone. It's the phone combined with the, I'm just trying to take my dog to the bank and for a short walk. Do you know how many times in the city people actually ask me to take a picture of them with my dog?
Really?
That's fucking so weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm dead serious.
I don't have these experiences.
No, like 3.
This is why
it was
I'm
like
what?
2-3 weeks ago. 2-3 weeks ago, dead serious. It was beautiful out. It was like 70 fucking degrees outside.
Right.
I decided to take Ando on a nice long walk.
Right.
We ended up going all the way down to Dilworth Plaza, and we finally get down there. I'm reading in Philadelphia. They have all these little displays, the posters with stories about the historic value of the location that you're at, like little pictures, and then like oh, back in 1870, this and this person did this thing, and this law was passed, and this was built, and blah blah blah. So I'm sitting there reading one of those things, and this woman comes up off to the side. Now, there's plenty of room to walk around me, but she comes up and she screams because she was startled because she sees this big dog out in the way. And I look at her, and I get angry when people do that because it's really stupid. Like to be that afraid. But come on, you're an adult. Fucking grow up. So she screams, and then I'm like, all right, fine. She goes, does he bite? Now, I get really angry when somebody asks me that question, because I mean, sometimes I really want to say, like, yes, of course he bites. You have to stay away from me. But I'm like, why would you ask that question? Like, that's my end. Why would you ask that? What caused you to turn and say that was the first thought in your head? Does he bite?
Right.
I'm like, but no, he doesn't bite. He's fine. And then she just stood there as I'm reading the sign. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me move because you're clearly afraid of the dog. So you can read the sign and then I'll go around. She goes, oh, no. I wasn't going to read the sign. And I'm like,
she just said, then what the fuck are you doing?
Right. Then I was like, all right, well, then there's more than enough room. Like, yard is like, walk around me. She goes, no, I wanted to say hi. All right, fine. I gave up. I was like, just fine. Say hi. It was a beautiful day. Fine. Say hi. Immediately, there were 7 people that gathered around us within the next 2 minutes. Like one was a couple, another one was like a gaggle of sorority girls that had to take a picture of him because it was on their list. I'm dead serious. They came up, it's like, can we take a picture? It was a video because it was on their sorority list. They were super fucking hot too, and it was really annoying because this other woman wouldn't stop talking to me about what kind of breed he was, and she was like secretariat, like she was just nasty. Yeah. And I was like, there's a whole, like, there's like 7 hot tall blondes that I'll never get with, but I want to talk to over here. Like, stop talking to me about my fucking dog. Right, just because I can, because my dog allows me to. But so they took a video with the dog, and then this Asian couple came up. They took a picture with, like, I had to take a picture of Ando with them, and then the whole time, this crazy woman who was talking to me asked me, "Oh, well, they're taking a picture. Can I get a picture with your dog?" So I took her phone and took a picture of my dog with her. This thing happens all the time. And Ando's not, I mean, again, I love my dog. He's not that special. He's some sort of odd celebrity that I'm not aware of, and I would really like the royalty checks to start flowing in, honestly.
Isn't there
because
like a town in Alaska where there's a dog that's a mayor or something?
Are you serious?
I think so.
Wow.
Or a parrot, something fucking like that.
It's a weasel.
It was like a fucking penguin was like they named the penguin or something like that.
It's something like there's like a cockatiel that's a mayor.
That's crazy.
Town or some shit.
It's a spider monkey.
I could be totally making this up.
I can't take him anywhere. He gets his picture taken with dogs, and I'm not trying to make him out to be any better than any other dog. I'm not. I love all dogs. They're all great. But for some reason, people always want to pet him. They want to make out with him. They want to, like, he's essentially like a black Brad Pitt at this point. I don't get it. Why the fuck are people that way?
I don't know.
He's Brad Pitt.
Huh?
You said that he's black, or is it's because he's Brad Pitt? Which one don't you get?
No, he's the combination of the two.
So that's what you don't get.
No, I don't get why he's so...
I get it.
But he's black Brad Pitt because he has the attention of Brad Pitt, but he's black. Yeah.
I don't have this problem when I bring my dogs. When I'm walking my dogs, people tend to just cross the street.
Wait, sorry, say that again.
When I'm walking my dogs, people just tend to cross the street. They don't ask to pet them. They don't. Every once in a while, but it's usually like a little kid.
Right.
And I have to be like, nope.
Right.
Because they'll take your face off.
I've tried the whole thing, like, does he bite? Yes. And then people still try to pet him.
Putting, what is it? You tie a fucking...
The muzzle?
No, not a muzzle. You're supposed to, like, tie a ribbon to their leash and people know it's a dog that they should fucking...
I've had dogs my whole life and I've never heard this before.
Yeah, it's like some shit you tie. It's yellow ribbon, I want to say.
Isn't that for soldiers?
Yeah, but it's also for dogs that bite.
Okay. Dude, there was this one time...
And then it's supposed to be the sign that, like, it's not safe to approach that dog.
Some dude almost started to fight me because I told him he couldn't pet my dog. I was waiting to get some pickup from this Mexican place where Calexico was supposed to go.
Sure.
It's now Tio Flores. It's the Cambridge people. So I was waiting outside for them to prepare my order for pickup to take home, and I had the Dando. And this drunk guy came out of this bar right down the street called Founding Fathers. I think it was the Eagles Just Won or something. He was hammered. But he comes out and he sees the dog and he wants to pet the dog. And I see that he's really just too drunk. So I'm like, no, you can't. You can't pet my dog. Which is my fucking right to say whether you can or cannot pet my fucking dog. Just throwing that out there.
Sense.
And he started telling me that he felt sorry for the dog, that I was his owner. He was like he was calling me every expletive under the sun. I was a piece of shit. I was the worst fucking human being. I was such an asshole. I was getting cursed out because I didn't want some drunk douchebag petting my dog because he was stumbling everywhere, and then he wanted to fight me. He was like, if it wasn't for that dog, I would kick your ass right now. And he was standing less than a foot and a half away from me, like literally like 18-20 inches away from me. The dog is between us, but he's like over the dog. He's in my face telling me he's going to kick my ass. But the only reason he's not doing it is because my dog is there. So the dog is tied up to the thing. I actually step around the dog and I get out in front on the sidewalk where the dog can't reach. And then he backs down and he starts walking down the street. But the guy actually wanted to fight me because he couldn't pet my dog. Who the fuck does that?
Well, that guy apparently.
But seriously, what is wrong with people?
I don't know. I've almost gotten in altercations because of my dogs, but completely.
Well, that was a different story, though.
Which one?
Wasn't the one from your street down in South Philly where, like, it was from that dude? Well, no, that was a moving truck issue.
Yeah.
That was something different. But there was a dog issue back then, right?
It was the same story. It was the same guy. It was his wife who the dogs were barking, and I fucking was like, shut up, yelling at the dogs.
Yeah.
Obviously much louder than that because we were outside and they were barking very loudly. And she wasn't upset that they were barking. She was upset that I told them to shut up because the words I used, shut up, to my dogs were offensive. And I could be nicer to them, and I could yell, be quiet, as if I'm still not screaming at
them. So it was inhumane,
as if
even though they're not humans.
At the top of my lungs, just to be audible. The fact that I said shut up instead of be quiet was extremely offensive to her, who decided to insert herself into the situation and tell me what a piece of shit I was for calming down my dogs, who were, by the way, trying to attack her.
Right.
That was me.
I
was the asshole because I said shut up and I need to be nicer.
She's the type of person that tells you how to raise your children.
She's the type of person that needs to get fucking choked on a dick. It got fucking loud, and she was like, I'm not afraid of you, I have a husband. And I was like,
yeah, bring him.
Fucking
yeah, get him out of here.
Bring your husband, please.
I love how
bring your husband over.
I love how when you say no, or when people ask to pet the dogs, or there's an interaction, but you're too busy, you have something to do, or you're on the way, or you're on the fucking phone, you're the asshole, because they're interrupting your time to pet your fucking dog.
Right.
But you're the dick for being like, yeah, like, miss, I'm trying to protect you from my animals.
I'm trying to make sure that my dogs don't take your fucking face off.
Yeah. And fuck you for being considerate.
Yeah. If you would like, I will let them go, and we'll see if you say anything.
Right. Besides screams, besides oh God, why God, why?
You're gonna pull your fucking throat out. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Now the only thing that I'm fucking offended by is you, 6 or 7 houses down the fucking street, yelling at me because you just fucking,
right,
you know, you're upset and you need your fucking voice to be heard because you don't get enough fucking dick from your 3-foot tall husband.
Yeah. I why can't people have a respect for other people's, and I hate to say this, but the dogs are property. They are property because they need to be property in order to be trained and treated in the way that they need to in order to acclimate to.
Right. They're just like wives.
So why can't people understand that you just like babies? Really, babies are, until they are cognizant, are property because you are responsible for them.
Yeah.
Why is that so difficult for somebody to
fucking
initially understand?
The can I see your baby thing, that fucking, it never bothered me when people are like, hey, can I say hi to your dog? Generally, I'm, like I said, extremely rarely, and typically children, like running up the street at the dog, and they won't attack a kid, but I don't want to fucking run the risk.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, they don't feel threatened. They recognize it's something smaller. They might bark a little bit to be like, hey, who are you? Or why are you running?
But that can have traumatic effects to the kid.
Right.
If it's not handled correctly.
Like what?
Right.
You know, just, it's not worth the risk.
I know that.
All that is.
Firsthand.
But with like, can I see your baby?
That doesn't even fucking make sense.
It really does. Like, what gives somebody the fucking balls?
Exactly. Like, I'm afraid to fucking hold a baby, period, sometimes.
I've asked to pet somebody's dog just out of courtesy, obviously.
I've asked to pet somebody's baby.
But I've never,
the same shit.
I've never asked anybody like, oh, that's so cute. Can I play tic-tac-toe with it? Can I teach it the alphabet? Can I pick it up? Can I burp it? Can I feed it? Can I change its diaper? That's essentially the same thing you're fucking asking.
Have you ever had somebody hand you their baby and walk away?
Nah.
Dude, I had that happen about 3 weeks ago. Somebody who
hold this.
Somebody who I sort of know, not very well, bumped into me, had their baby, and was like, "Oh,
so there was a previous."
Yeah.
Okay.
Not enough for
this.
Yeah.
Well, to you, but to them, they were like, "Fuck it, I know this guy,
dude. I
know where he works. I can get in touch with him if he steals my baby."
Kid that isn't mine. Like,
right.
Fucking end of story.
But why would you feel like that's even right?
And
no, it's not. I don't think, but yeah.
So, you know, maybe a baby who's related to me, like my cousin's kids, I'll hold them. You know, I'm not gonna drop a baby. I know I have. Well, now I have a toddler, but fucking
right.
I'm not gonna drop it. I'm not incompetent. I know how to fucking hold a child. But just to be like, just introduces like, do you want to hold it? Not really.
Well, say, like,
as I'm trying to be like, I don't really, you know, I'm not really comfortable holding a kid that doesn't mind fucking putting the
I would trust you with my kid.
And
but we know you, like he knows you.
Yeah, it's a whole different fucking level of I know this person.
so you're that estranged. Like it's more of an acquaintance than it is like a family or a friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reaching like
fucking
reaching arms forward. Yeah, like
I was gonna say you trusted me with your baby. Like I'm
reaching their arms forward, putting their child into my fucking lap and arms as they're going. Do you want to hold it? Well, do I have
like you have a choice?
Do I have a choice at this
point?
point? Because my other option is to allow you to drop the child, and then I'm like,
what if you just limped your arms at that point? Like they go to, and your arms are just by the side, and then like go when the baby drops, and you just look at him like.
You gotta hack
it was your fault. Like, yeah, I didn't say you just fucking dropped your baby in front of me.
Puts the child in my arms waits till they're already in my
like they're nestled,
situated inside my grasp, and goes, "Do you want to hold it?" And I'm like, and then they're like, "Cool, I'll be right back," and then left for like 10
I'm going to the spa
for like 10 minutes, and I'm like,
I've got a mani-pedi in 20 minutes.
What the fuck do I
like, where the fuck
listen,
are your
by the
parents?
way, it doesn't matter if you bleed milk. Just put his mouth on your nipple. He'll pretend like it's trust me, it's psychosomatic. I'll be back in half an hour.
Absolute fucking insanity. That. Anyway, I got a story about fucking someone trying to approach my actual kid, but we're running up to our time limit on this one, so that one will have to wait till next time. So we will see you guys on the next episode.
Peace.
All right. Peace.
Thank you.